Hi, and welcome to Rave Fantastic, a 6-episode student production that documents and honours the Melbourne rave and early techno scenes of the 1990s. I am your host, Mad Rod. Throughout this program, I'll be chatting with some legendary DJs, right next to me now, from the 90s party and dance era, and they'll be playing pretty much a lot of their old school favourites, but before that, we'll be actually chatting about the old times. Hello and welcome, DJ Nimmo, my dear friend.
Hello, Rod. How are you?
This is weird. This is good.
It's very weird.
It is. Great to see you. Now, just before we go into the questions and stuff, we were talking about like when we sort of first met, so that would have been at potentially the Powerhouse.
Yeah, I think so. The first rave.
Yeah, a biology or something like that. Yeah, correct?
June 1990.
Okay, so, wow. So
a long time ago.
That's 34 years ago.
Yes.
Bloody Nora. Okay, so just so we all understand, we're going into several questions and then you're going to play some of your amazing stuff later. And I should also say that in the old days, when you used to actually sell some of your secondhand stuff at Octave.
And not pay me.
Well, that had nothing to do with me. Oh my God. All right, let's get into some questions here. So, firstly, what inspired you to want to become a DJ, and was it difficult for you to become a professional DJ thereafter?
Well, I always collected records.
Yeah.
So since I was in the indie scene in the 1980s.
Yeah.
And then if you have records in the 80s and then you got invited to play the records at a party.
For
so
sure,
that's how I got
sure.
into DJing.
And who would you say, Richie Rich was a bit of a supporter of you as a DJ back then?
Richie and Jeff Tyler.
Yeah, and Jeff, there you go. Big shout out.
And Willie Teller, he got me my first gig.
There you go. And Willie at that time was pretty much one of the main big players.
Yeah, he was Melbourne's first star DJ.
Yeah, he was, most definitely, with 3 decks and the whole thing. Yeah. So, and became quite synonymous with Australian sort of DJing. Amazing. So how did you source this music, like as in electronic music? Because it was not easy to find back then.
No, I think that's it didn't get played on the radio.
Yeah.
So if you weren't at a nightclub when a song got played, you just didn't hear it. Yeah. So mixtapes used to get shared around and you used to find tracks on mixtapes. Yeah. You know, like a record, maybe 5 or 10 copies could come into Central Station or into your shop.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky, you got one. But like some of the big tracks that I found and broke first, I actually found them just by going through the racks of old stock.
Yeah.
You know, it was just hunt.
Hence, we had no social media. And
no, there's no social media.
Nothing like that. Like,
I mean, you couldn't hear dance music on the radio.
For sure.
You if you heard a kick drum, like a synthesized kick drum, you noticed it.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, like your parents hated your music. Like,
this is true. So why was this new medium so important to you then? Like, what was the thing, and how did it end up influencing your life?
I think because I was in the indie scene, that just got a bit dull and done. Yeah. I mean, music was just being replayed and replayed.
Just elaborate indie scene.
So the indie scene was like The Cure, The Smiths, New Order, which is still my
sort
favourite
of more
band.
The English sort of sub-pop sort of stuff,
alternative pop.
Yeah, okay.
Is really. And even punk and goths.
Yeah.
And I mean, they'd call it emo now.
Yeah, emo for sure.
But as I wore all black and stuff in high school, and
interesting.
And that just got boring after. And then Acid House came along, and it was just was so much fun. Yeah.
Going into this question, how would you describe the atmosphere of those parties of the 1990s and the relationship, say, between a DJ and an audience?
Well, it was a much smaller scene, so you're talking like a few hundred people at a party. Yeah. And the DJ was quite often just like at a table like this. Yeah. And you'd walk around the table. And they would mind your jacket for the night. And you would like swap cigarettes. And swap other things too, from what I've been told. And you know, like ask if they wanted a drink or anything like that. And there was no alcohol. It was a lot more.
No, there wasn't, was there? Actually? No. Yeah, that's right.
So, but it was a lot more.
Or maybe some of our parties, but that's a whole different story.
So, but everyone knew everyone.
Yeah, this is true.
So it was more
like
friendly.
A big family.
Yeah, it was a big family. Whereas now you've got OH&S and everything. So the DJ has to be separate. Yeah. And so you can't have that same relationship.
And as you really spent a lot of your life in these environments, especially when you were younger, what was your favourite highlight that still even tell your boys about? Do you know what I mean?
The best DJ set I've ever seen was Laurent Garnier in 1995.
Okay.
And he played about 5 or 6 hours.
Yep.
At the docks.
Yep, I remember.
And like it was just all new music. We didn't know most of the music.
Yeah.
And it was also he was also playing a lot of disco.
Yeah.
And just music that we didn't think to put together.
When that was actually that mid-90s thing was when they were really starting to sort of like combine stuff.
Yeah.
Like, which is quite interesting.
He was just able to mix all genres.
Yeah, for sure. And so what was your most memorable party in this, say, in the 90s? Not just that one, but just if there's one even earlier, for instance.
Well, the most memorable party is always the first party. And that's biology.
Okay, all right.
Albert Park Lake. And that's when I first got.
And what about Richie's first hardware? That was.
Oh, that was a good party.
That was amazing on the Yarra. At the boat sheds.
Yeah, at the boat sheds.
That, for me, as a rave, like
Yeah, it was a very friendly rave, but it was also like around that time when a whole lot of kids from the outer suburbs were first getting into the scene. So that's when the scene starts to really drift from being.
For sure.
You knew everyone to you knew some people.
Yep. And what would you say you miss the most about that period, like being sort of now an acid gramps?
I don't really miss anything. I mean, it was great that I was there, but it's not something I want to like go back to.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you get new new interests, and
well, you'd hope so.
Yeah. Staying up till 3 o'clock the next day is not something I want to do anymore.
You mean the day after the day?
Yeah. The day after the night before. Yeah.
So, and what do you think about this whole thing now? Like the sort of all these new people making music and the whole scene. Well, from an older perspective.
From an older perspective, I think the main thing is that the music's not really progressing.
Okay.
For me,
interesting.
Like the music that I hear now, like whether it's trance music or techno or something like that. It's new music by new artists, but it's still trance and it's still techno. Whereas, like when I was a kid, I actually experienced the birth of hip hop, the birth of electro, ska. I miss punk. I miss disco. But like so many different sounds were like developed and nowadays it's just we're stuck in this kind of loop. And it just, if anything, I'm bored by it. And I would much prefer to be angry.
Okay, so what about, because you and Seth, good day Seth, in Thailand, I was going to say Bangkok, but no, in Thailand, is you do the parties which are called?
Arm in Arm,
okay.
we did the parties. We don't do them anymore.
Okay,
really.
but they were quite a phenomenon. Like, you know, you got a lot of
there's an old school party,
like that.
Which was good because it was a small group of people who came along. Now we're doing another one for Dave, I think he's
Dave Pham, he'll be here with us next week.
Coming next week. And he's started doing them as well.
And what's that called?
Rave Signal.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
And he's
that's
actually
the second one coming, isn't it?
Yeah. But he's making it so it's more into the late 90s.
Okay.
Whereas me and Seth were always trying to keep
really
it the early 90s. But my generation is less interested in going out, whereas people who are 10 years older than me,
of course,
they're still interested. And there's so much good music in that decade.
Yeah, for sure,
seems
definitely. And so, in this question, what does this still mean much to you? The whole techno thing, like from the old school. I mean, is it something you carry with you, like
It's a badge of pride because you were there early on. Like I was a rave before anyone knew what rave was.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely.
And so as a group, all of my friends and stuff like that. But also, like, electronic music is really what I listen to as my choice. I listen to a bit of jazz and other stuff as well.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that is that when we were younger, or when you guys were young, because I've always the older one, but anyway, the point was that there was no sexual harassment, there was nothing like that in our scene. It was this very sort of like almost asexual, do you know what I mean? About the music, no one harassed the DJs, it was just very... The
DJs were stars, but they were stars on a different level. They weren't like the centre of attention.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely.
Like people still wanted to know the DJ, but they really came for the music.
Yeah, for sure.
They didn't come if the name on the flyer.
Yeah.
Didn't really mean as much as it does now. I mean, you can have a name on a flyer now, they can do nothing and people pay.
Yeah, and plus we didn't have phones, so,
No, so, there's no footage of me, there's no photos of me,
but
I'm quite happy about that.
I'm saying more in the context of like, you go to parties now and everyone's got a phone. And I'm thinking, dance.
Yeah, exactly. But I think there's two scenes. There's the underground scene of like underground nightclubs, or whatever scene they're in, and they're still well into it, and they're still dancing and getting into it. But then what you see on YouTube and whatever is the commercial scene. They're basically adverts. And people are paying a lot of money to go to an event, and the DJ is just they're replacing the lead singer of a band. For sure, most definitely. So, you know, you're not going to dance, you're going to see.
Yeah, and plus it's huge now too, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of money involved.
Yeah, like, you know.
But we've reached peak of festivals, I think. I think there's going to be something. Yeah, people seem to think these things go forever, but they don't, you know, like 20 years or so.
But there is a new thing I've seen in the last 10 years in Melbourne when I've been here, where there's a lot of, like, you know, younger generation making quite alternative underground sort of like techno parties and stuff, which are quite amazing.
Yeah, which I'm not, I'm not connected with, because I'm not being that.
Yeah, I've just been there just by chance, do you know what I mean? Because someone goes, I'll come to this, I'm like, oh my God, look at this, this is
but
amazing.
I assume it's still going on, because kids are kids.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and there is interesting stuff going on.
Most definitely.
You know, like techno at the start was on the side of everything. It was never front and centre. And so now the new sound will be something on the side as well.
For sure.
And I'm not on the side, I don't know.
Of course. Now, speaking about that, we're going to sort of wrap it up so you can actually start DJing. Is there any type of genre or thing you're going to actually be doing today for
I'm just going to play everyone some of my favourite techno from the last 30 years. Some of it's old, some of it's newer. Nothing really banging, but a bit emotional. And,
wonderful.
We'll see how much we get
Well, you're an amazing DJ. I've always thought that. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you very much.
Yes, I sort of stole your records after you sort of like brought them in.
I sold a lot of records that I like. Now I go, I shouldn't have sold that.
Exactly. There you go. So, and I don't have them anymore either. Do you know what I mean? They've all, but that's a whole other story. Well, look, we'll let you go over, and and thank you so much. It's lovely to see you, because I haven't actually seen you for
a while.
30 years?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, 25 years. We'll say 25. There you go. It's still a long time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, all right. Lots of love. And so give it up for him. And DJ Nimmo, will be playing very soon. And I'll be just here until he actually queues up. And there you go. And a huge shout out to everyone that's watching today. Thank you so much. And I know you'll be sort of like, woo, woo, woo. And all I can say is after Nimmo, there will be actually DJ Ides coming up. So when you're ready, thank you.
The moons of Saturn have a direct influence on Saturn's rings. A natural tendency of ring material is to spread both toward and away from the planet. But the moons, in a complex interplay of gravitational forces, shape the rings and define their structure.